A while back in the comment area on somebody's video, we got into a little mini discussion, and I commented that fans are very inefficient, run at low speeds. You know, typical household fan like this, or a box fan or anything else. I found using the kilowatt that they were very inefficient at low speeds. At least it seemed to me. You know, versus the wind speed from high to low seems to change radically, where power usage doesn't change radically. So my conclusion is they're very weak, very inefficient at low speeds. So basically I'm taking a small computer fan, and yeah, it does have a little bit of cogging, and there's grease that needs to warm up and stuff, so I'm going to run the fan for a while before I take any reading at all, because I've noticed that my initial readings do bounce around quite a bit. So I'm just simply using the fan as a passive way to pick up the wind from the active fan and the generator voltage, and read it through precision voltmeter, and while taking a look at the current, the wattage being used by a kilowatt. And I was going to make this a long video and show you each fan I did, but I'm just going to show you a summary. I'm going to keep records of all these and give you a summary, because there's going to be too much wind noise for a lot of this to be good video. I'm not going to put you through all that. So I will be giving you a summary. I'll include a few photographs of my setups and different fans, but basically that's it until the summary. Okay, this subject is a pedestal fan, 16-inch wide, 3-speed motor. Let's look at the data I've collected. The first column is watts and VA. VA, volts times amps, is watts. We use VA because sometimes voltage and amps aren't in phase. And so to get a better look at what the actual power is, you can use VA. VA should normally be higher than watts. I got a couple where it didn't, including like this one right somewhere in here. I had one that was, this VA was, they're all higher. Anyway, I had one where it was actually lower, which doesn't make sense. The next one is airspeed, and this is just voltage, millivolts, off of that little fan that I had, in front of the fan under test. So my measuring fan, so to speak, millivolts from my measuring fan, which is always the same fan. Of course, these results are only good for one fan, to compare low to high, low, medium, and high. It's not really good to compare fan to fan, because my little measuring fan, is kind of dependent on how it's hung. I have to try to find the sweet spot to get it to turn and everything. But it's not really good to compare one fan to the other necessarily. I mean, it'll probably come pretty close, actually. So anyway, fan tachometer. This is just the fan types, high, medium, low, what type of fan it was. I should have made this narrow. I should have made this column bigger, but whatever. Line AC, we don't really care about that so much. Pretty consistent. This is actually a different location than these were. This has got a long underground cable to the house over there. This house doesn't. So I usually get about 122 here. But what you can see is my original idea does pan out pretty well. This millivolts per watt, millivolts over watt I should say. Well, watts is the actual draw. The millivolts is representing the airspeed. So it's airspeed over watts, so to speak. It's kind of my efficiency standard. How much air per watt am I moving in my fudge factor unit here? But you can see 14 goes up to 22. So my efficiency, bigger the number the better. My efficiency isn't cut in half on low speed, but it's down there. You look at this fan, it's way down there. I should have done the percentages, I suppose. But it's at least 25% or worse, you know, efficiency-wise. You get to this one, this Optimus 16-inch. This fan is kind of unusual. Oh no, actually the bottom one is the unusual one, the small box fan, 18-inch box. This one was a little bit unusual too. Anyway, in that I've got a bigger wattage to VA discrepancy on this last fan. And actually, almost all of these fans in the lower speeds, there's only like one count difference in the VA to the watts. This fan was different than this last small box fan. VA was quite a bit different than wattage all the way through. Actually worse in the lowest speed, which is kind of different. And the efficiency on this fan is remarkable. It's almost, I was going to say 3 times better, more efficient on high speed than it is on low speed. It's not quite. It's close. So it kind of rings out. I guess it rings out both arguments. I was telling somebody in a forum somewhere that these fans are really very inefficient at low speed, and he was saying, "Oh, it's just your fan." And I had done a quick look at these two fans, and granted, these two fans aren't quite as bad in terms of differences, but these two fans, holy moly, you know, they're almost, hell, this one's damn near 3, you know, a factor of 3 in terms of efficiency, being much better at high speed than it is at low speed. So it really does carry out what I said. These fans are pretty inefficient at low speed, and some are worse than others, so that kind of gets his argument, but they're all pretty bad at low speed. That's really kind of curious, this big disparity I got at low speed here on VA. It means it's kicking back. Well, I won't try to microanalyze it, but it means your voltage is getting out of phase. You're getting a little bit of back EMF if you look at it the right way, the wrong way. Anyway, let's not get into all that. And what did I have here? Oh, just for yucks, I did the no load. I had this one fan completely apart, had the blade off the fan. So this is just pure motor power consumption here, with the fan blade off the motor, just a bare motor. And even there you can see quite a difference. Of course you'd expect to. I know, 50% more power in high, but you don't get 50% more air. Well, this one you almost do. This one is pretty close. And as compared to these two, are much worse. These are almost a 3-to-1 efficiency change from low to high. Yeah, that's what I got. I got one more fan I could have added to this up north. Actually, I probably got a couple more fans. But I think you see the pattern here pretty clear. Definitely some fans are worse than others. But they all suck at low speed for efficiency.